I was on the last page of my Happy Place reread, smiling in a room by myself, when suddenly I remembered the obnoxious sticker on the front cover. Wait a minute, Barnes & Noble exclusive edition? But there's no extended epilogue. I thought Barnes & Noble scammed me of exclusive content until I flipped past the acknowledgements. The exclusive content in this book is not an extended epilogue, but books that Emily Henry loves and recommends. She recommends a book for very specific occasions. For example, for your big adventure, for your small town getaway, your girls trip, your European jaunt, your cruise, your road trip, and so on. That's when the idea for this video came to fruition. I saw Emily Henry briefly talk about The Change by Kirsten Miller a few years ago, so I picked it up.
Within the last year, I read The Change. Okay. I cannot remember the author's name. Kirsten Miller. So good about women who are going through menopause when they start having these strange sort of supernatural things happening, and it's like female rage, but also a warm hug, and it's just beautiful.
I loved it, and I gave it 5 stars. I trust her taste. So in this video, I'm going to continue reading books Emily Henry recommends. The first book I'll be reading in this video that Emily Henry recommends is The Bodyguard by Catherine Center. And I'm picking this one because it's on Kindle Unlimited. Emily Henry categorized this one under For Your Visit to the Ranch. And this is what she says. The Bodyguard by Catherine Center, with the playful, high-concept sensibility of the very best romantic comedy films of the early 2000s, Center's story follows an actor going home to see his family in Texas and the bodyguard discreetly posing as his girlfriend. I'm so excited to read this one because it has been on my radar for a while. I remember when it came out in 2023, a lot of people were raving about this, and I did add it to my Goodreads want to read list. I just never picked it up because I've never read anything by this author, but now's the time. It is a contemporary romance, which I love, and here is the summary. She's got his back, he's got her heart. They've got a secret. What could possibly go wrong? Hannah Brooks looks more like a kindergarten teacher than somebody who could kill you with her bare hands. But the truth is, she's an elite bodyguard and she's just been hired to protect a superstar actor from his stalker. Jack Stapleton's a Hollywood heartthrob, captured by paparazzi on beaches in the world over, rising out of the waves in clingy board shorts and glistening like a Roman deity. When Jack's mom gets sick, he comes home to the family's Texas ranch to help out. Only one catch. He doesn't want his family to know about his stalker, or the bodyguard thing. And so Hannah, against her will and her better judgment, finds herself pretending to be Jack's girlfriend as a cover. Protecting Jack should be easy, but protecting her own heart, that's the hardest thing she's ever done. Okay, so fake dating. Sign me up. I'm gonna go lay down and start this because that sounds amazing. Talk to you later. I just noticed there is a blurb by Emily Henry on the front. My perfect 10 of a book.
Saw your silhouette in the backlight. Swear we could have met in a past life. Treating every night like the last time. So I end all my days with you. Yeah, we should share a backseat in a taxi to get home. No need for either of us at this point to sleep.
Hey guys, I have a reading update for you. And I am trying to see if the mic on my phone is better than the mic on my Canon G7X Mark II. If you can still hear drilling in the background, it didn't work. So my reading update. I'm 50% through with The Bodyguard by Catherine Center, and I don't really have that much to say. I was hoping I would have stronger feelings about it by now. I could see this being a solid 3-star read. Maybe 3.5, but there's still potential for me to really enjoy it. I'm definitely no stranger to saying a book is just okay halfway through and then loving the ending and giving the book 5 stars. I've done that before. I'll probably do it again. So I'm not giving up on this book, but as of right now, I'm thinking it's gonna be 3 stars. It's funny because my initial thoughts on this book, a few chapters into it, I was really enjoying it. I thought we jumped right into the story. I was loving our female main character. There was a lot going on already, and I was invested. A lot is still going on, but it's just slowed down to me. And don't get me wrong, there's still a lot going on in this book, but it's just not piquing my interest as much. I do love that it's the bodyguard trope. I don't know if I've ever read the bodyguard trope before, but I do love that early 2000s movie about the president's daughter. First Daughter, love that movie, and that's the bodyguard trope, so this has potential. And I also love that it's a one of them is famous trope. Is that even a trope? I'm just making stuff up now, and how many times have I said the word trope? I don't know. I absolutely love when someone is famous in a story. I eat it up every time. I'm excited to see where this goes. The only other thing I have to say is that why is everybody in this book insufferable? Besides our female main character and male main character, of course. But female main character's ex-boyfriend, trash. Best friend, ex-best friend, trash. Her boss is so rude. I would not stand for that. I surely would not. If you hear the drilling in the background, I'm so sorry. Our male main character is an absolute sweetheart, so I'm loving that. I have big plans to finish the book tonight. We'll see if that happens, and I'll come back to you guys with my final rating and see if Emily Henry picked a winner for this one. I did finish The Bodyguard this morning. I woke up and wanted to finish it right away when Sam's alarm went off and he rolled over. He was like, dang, you must really like that book. And I did really like it. I wouldn't say I loved it, but I ended up really enjoying the last hour and a half of the book. It picked up at the end like most romance books do when it's time to wrap the story up. But I will say there was a lot more going on in this book because the female main character is a highly trained bodyguard, and that came into play at the end. I was nervous. I had to know what was going to happen. The last 20% of the book just flew by, and I was sad when it was over because I did really love these characters. I love the male main character. Jack was such a sweetie pie, and I love a man that's famous. What can I say? Especially in books, it just works for me. The famous trope. Maybe that's my One Direction fan fiction coming back to play. Now for the rating, I'm thinking 3.5, 3.75 stars. Give me a day or two because I normally jump the gun and I'm like, oh, I really enjoyed it, 4 stars. And then I'm looking back and I'm like, no. But I will say I did really like this book. Definitely 3-star and above read for me. I'm thinking more like 3.5 stars. So I am really glad that Emily Henry recommended this one. It wasn't a 5-star read for me, but I did get something out of this read, and that is that this is going to be my new go-to recommendation when someone asks for a cheesy, feel-good romance. This is my go-to book. There's no spice. It feels like a Hallmark movie. It's just so wholesome and sweet, and there's still some action in it, that this is the perfect recommendation. Especially if someone's getting back into reading, I feel like this is a really good one. And even for someone that has read hundreds of romance novels in their life, like me, you'll still enjoy it. So let's talk about the next book I'm going to pick up. The next book I'm going to be reading for this video is Miss Aldridge Regrets by Louise Hare. The category for this book is For Your Cruise, which is a big bummer because I just got back from a cruise and I had this book on hold through the Libby app since it wasn't on Kindle Unlimited and I didn't want to buy it. And it wasn't available to me until we got home, of course. And I'm 10% into it right now, and I tell you what, it would have been perfect for a cruise. That's okay. A perfect Agatha Christie-esque murder mystery set on a transatlantic journey from England to New York with a lovable heroine. I don't think I've ever read anything by Agatha Christie, which I know, arrest me. I'm gonna get there one day because I do love a murder mystery. I'm excited to continue reading this one because I need a break from romance. I've read so many average romance books lately that I need to switch things up so that way I don't get sick of romance. But don't worry, I will be reading one more romance in this video. I also don't think I've ever read a true cozy mystery before, at least not anytime in the last few years. I'm a big fan of thrillers, so nothing's cozy about that. But this is actually a cozy mystery, and I have to say I'm really enjoying it. It's so easy to fly through a chapter in this book just because of the writing. I don't know, there's something about it, and I can't wait to pick it up when I have more time later tonight. Update you guys then. this video in forever. And I'm so mad at myself because I love the idea I came up with. So let's finish this video out, guys. Come on, let's get back into it. What is my hair doing? The reason I wasn't filming this video is because I wasn't reading. The last book I talked about was Miss Aldridge Regrets. It's a cozy mystery. And the first time I picked it up, I sat down and I read for 30 minutes straight. And I thought it was really interesting. And then I had people visit me and I just didn't feel like picking it up and I didn't have time to pick it up. So the longer I let it sit there, I was like, I don't want to read it, but I don't want to read anything else because I want to film this video. So I ended up not reading anything for a while. And then I told myself I would go back to the book after I picked up a new release, which was Problematic Summer Romance. And then I picked up another book and another book. And then I picked up Miss Aldridge Regrets again, and I put it down for the last time because I don't feel like reading it. So I'm going to soft DNF that book. I say soft DNF because I will read it eventually. I really enjoy the beginning of it. I read about 30% of it and I want to see where it goes. It's just the wrong season and I'm a mood reader. So I kind of want to pick a genre that I'm interested in right now, and it's just not a cozy mystery in the middle of summer. There's nothing cozy about my life right now because the no AC with 90-degree weather right now, it's just not cozy, okay? So I need something a little more summery, or at least just romance. I've read so many average romance books lately that I need to switch things up so that way I don't get sick of romance. Why do I think every romance takes place in the summer? That's not true. So I finally turned my Kindle off at airplane mode because Miss Aldridge Regrets was a library book. And what am I going to read next, you may be asking? I'm going to be starting a very anticipated read of mine, and that is Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. This is still one of Emily Henry's recommendations in the back of Happy Place. This is a second chance romance, and if you know me, you know I love a second chance romance. So let's start the book. I can't wait. To do a little reading update. I kind of want to share my thoughts on how this video is going, even though nobody probably asked for that, because honestly right now I'm feeling disappointed. I know I never made it a goal to find a 5-star read in this video, but I was thinking that in the back of my mind when I came up with the idea for this video, because like I said in the intro, Emily Henry talked about The Change, so I read it and I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. And I kind of just assumed any other book she recommends is going to be a banger. And unfortunately, that's not the case. The books I've read or tried to read for this video have not been bad at all, but nothing to write home about, really. My favorite so far has been The Bodyguard, and it was a solid, I don't even remember what I rated it, 3.5-star read, 3.75-star read, but it never gave me the 5-star feeling from the start. And then of course I DNF'd Miss Aldridge Regrets. Sorry. It was just the wrong time, nothing against the book. So I'm kind of sad. The video is not over. It's far from over because I started Before I Let Go 2 nights ago or last night, and I'm 20% into it and I just want to keep reading. So maybe I'm jumping the gun by sharing my feelings so far, but I just want to be honest, you know, even though nobody probably cares. I also want to mention I did read one other book for this video, but I didn't film anything about it. I didn't really care for it. So you guys are probably like, girl, chill. You've read one book for this video. What are you talking about? Secretly, I did read another book and it was Vacationland. I listened to most of it on my cruise and then I finished it when I got home, but I listened to it over a month and it was truly nothing special at all. It kind of reminded me of a book Leanne Moriarty would write. I'm not her biggest fan, but it just was a lot of character development. It was a character study and not a ton of plot. So I was also disappointed by that recommendation, but I didn't want to share anything about it because I just felt like I was being a bummer for this video. That's life. So let's say some positive things moving forward. I think Before I Let Go could be a 4-star read or higher, just based on the writing and the storyline I'm getting right now. And I do want to say, I know I was smiling, I think, in the clip before this one, saying I was so excited to read Before I Let Go and I can't wait. And I just wanted to backtrack and say I'm excited because I love second chance romances and emotional stories, but this is not a fluffy romance. So do not pick this up thinking that. This is a very emotional romance, and I would read the summary or trigger warnings just to see if you even want to read a story that's a little bit darker, because most romances are marketed as light and fluffy, and this one definitely is not. I love a deeper story, and I love second chance romances for the aspect of it being super emotional. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. I will update you guys more about the summary of this book in the next clip. Bye.
I don't wanna call you later. You're tearing my heart up like it's paper, and somehow you turn to a stranger. We used to work, now I'm trying to make sure that we're both on the same page. I don't want it to complicate. I know you're riding away.
Hey everyone, worst vlogger in the world reporting for duty. I finished the book and I never even told you what the book was about. Let me read you the summary of Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan, but I'm sure you've heard of it. You've probably already read it, I'm just late to the game. Their love was supposed to last forever, but when life delivered blow after a devastating blow, Yasmin and Josiah Wade found that love alone couldn't solve or save everything. It couldn't save their marriage. Yasmin wasn't prepared for how her life fell apart, but she's finally starting to find joy again. She and Josiah have found a new rhythm, co-parenting their 2 kids and running a thriving business together. Yet, like magnets, they're always drawn back to each other, and now they're beginning to wonder if they're truly ready to let go of everything they once had. Soon, one stolen kiss leads to another, and then more. It's hot, it's illicit, it's all good, until old wounds reopen. Is it too late for them to find forever? Or could they even be better the second time around? Yeah, I finished it. And I am no longer allowed to make comments about books when I'm only 20% into them, because then I look like a dummy, because at the beginning of this I was like, oh my gosh, I love it, it could be 4-star or higher. And truly that is how I was feeling. It's too early on for me to say that, because I finished the book and I just have average feelings for it, really. I would say this is a 3-star read. I think this is a case where I overhyped a book in my head for so long because I saw other people loving this book, that my only option is to be let down by the book, because I'm putting it on a pedestal, and I just need to stop doing that, and I need to read books before they get too hyped, because then the hype just gets out of control, you know? Let me just explain some more of my thoughts. This is the first second chance romance that I've read where they got divorced and they're trying to rekindle that flame. And I don't know how I feel about that, because the whole thing kind of just makes me sad that they got divorced in the first place. And obviously it ends happy, or happier. I don't know. I've only read second chance romances where they were childhood friends to lovers and then they lost touch or they broke up and a few years down the line they run into each other again. I've only read second chance romances like that. So this one just felt really hard. And is it realistic for divorced couples to get married again? I don't know. It almost felt too real, but then not real enough. Is any of this making sense? Where am I going with this? Camera's about to run out of storage. The whole book was repetitive, but I did care about the relationship, and honestly, if you're reading the second chance romance, you have to understand that it's going to be repetitive, because couples in second chance romances can't figure out if they want to get back together, if they want to call it off for good. A few positive things about the book, and then I'll talk about one more critique. I loved how strong the female friendship was in this book. Her friend group was amazing, and I want to read about Soledad's story because I'm worried about her. Her husband seems like a piece of trash, and I genuinely just want to know she's okay, and I want to see her happy ending, which sounds crazy because it is a fictional story. You know, I do feel connected to her friends, and that's why I love Happy Place so much, because of the friendship in that book. Other thing I loved, there were some really memorable quotes in here. And if I can remember a quote from a book, I consider that a win. And honestly, if nothing sticks out to me in a book and I don't highlight anything on my Kindle, that book is probably not going to be a favorite of mine, not one I would recommend. However, there were some really meaningful conversations in here, and I was reading the last 30% of this book out by the canal. There was a heat wave in Amsterdam for a few days, and it was 90 degrees when I was laying outside, but from a conversation near the end of the book, I had chills. And I will remember that moment from the book, the quote, what was going on, and I just really loved it. And now the last thing that caught me off guard about this book is how spicy it was. And I don't have a problem with spice. I've read books that are just smut, no plot. I've read dark romances. I've read books that have no spice. It doesn't bother me. I just like to read, okay? And I was not expecting this to be so lusty, which I would have realized that if I read the summary, but I just never did because I already knew so much about the book. And again, I don't have a problem with spice, but it just felt like their physical connection was so strong, and that was it. When Josiah was thinking about Yasmin and remembering the good old days when they were married, all he would think about was them, you know? It just seemed like he liked her body more than her mind. And you know what? Maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's why they got divorced, is because they didn't know each other on a deeper level. They didn't have these really deep conversations. And yeah, I mean, after reading the book, that is part of the problem, is that they gave up instead of trying to work through things and talk things out. Is Josiah didn't want to talk to a therapist at first. And I get intimacy is important, especially in romance books, but it just felt like a lot, especially for two people that were supposed to be talking it out. They were not doing a lot of talking. If you know what I'm saying. Again, that is completely fine. That is completely fine. I just didn't know how much that would play into this book, and I personally don't think it needed that. I think without that, and just the deep conversations would have been fine. But for me, it kind of took me out of the story, because I'm like, are you guys just attracted to each other, or do you love each other? I don't know. I don't know. Don't hate me. Still a good book. I think I'm going to read one more book for this video, so I'm going to stop talking and get to that, and I'll update you guys with my final thoughts on this video. I'm so sorry I keep reading romance books. I'm sad I haven't found a 5-star read yet. There's always hope. If I had actually been in the mood to read any of these books, but I'm not. Therefore, that is why this video has taken me over a month to film, even though you guys probably can't tell. And I'm not loving any of these books, which is disappointing, but that's what happens when you're a mood reader, because I don't want to read any of these books right now. I want to read the most random things, but I do love making YouTube videos, and I committed to this, and I already edited the intro of this video, and I know it hits, but then the rest of the video is just mid. So I don't know. Gas me up in the comments. Tell me that you didn't hate this video. It's okay if you didn't like any of the books you read for a reading vlog. For some reason, I was just hoping to find a 5-star read, you know, because I really love this idea. And I'm just not going to find a 5-star read, and that's okay. I did start another book. I started Thank You for Listening by Julia Whalen. I'm listening to it as an audiobook, and this is what Emily Henry says. She recommended it for a road trip. Award-winning audiobook narrator Julia Whalen is back with her second novel, a sharp, smart, and genuinely funny romance between two audiobook narrators with very different backgrounds. Julia Whalen is an actress, an author, an audiobook narrator. She does it all. I'm sure this book was really fun for her to write, since she is an audiobook narrator, and then the two main characters are also audiobook narrators. And I can tell that she had fun writing this book, because it is funny, it's romantic, and she is an amazing audiobook narrator. I've probably listened to her before, but I just didn't realize it. She narrates her own book, if that wasn't obvious, and she does such an amazing job. I've truly felt like this was a whole cast, because she can do it all. She did like a 6-year-old voice, a man's voice. She can do a New Jersey accent, Southern. She does it all, and it's so fun to listen to. I definitely recommend this as an audiobook. I'm having a fun time. It's probably going to be a 3-star read, and I went into this with no expectations. I've seen people talk about this before and say they really enjoyed it, but there's not a ton of hype for it. So I think that's why I'm just genuinely having a good time, because I wasn't expecting more than having a good time. However, the Goodreads reviews go crazy for this book. This book has 4 stars on Goodreads, which is really high to me. I don't know. I did not realize this until recently, but Julia Whalen is the same author as My Oxford Year. And I only put those 2 things together in the last few months because I knew they were filming the movie, and the movie of My Oxford Year comes out on Netflix in August, and I really want to read the book before I watch the movie. So I'm definitely gonna read that book in the upcoming weeks, and I have it downloaded on my Kindle right now because it's on Kindle Unlimited. So let's all read it and watch the movie and discuss. Sorry, I kind of fell off track there, but I just wanted to let you guys know about her other books. I'm going to go for a walk right now and try to finish this audiobook. I have an hour and a half left. It's raining off and on, but hopefully I can get a good walk in and wrap this video up, because I've been yapping for so damn long. Hey guys, I just finished my audiobook on my rainy afternoon walk, and I'm here to tell you my final thoughts on the book and this video. I think you guys already know. This video was a flop. Not really, I had fun filming it, but I'm just sad I didn't find any 5-star reads. Thank you for listening. I'm going to give 3 stars. It was a fun book. I would recommend it to anyone, and the audiobook was really well done. I am glad that the main characters got a happily ever after though, because the main girl was going through it. It was just one thing after another. So yeah, I really want to read My Oxford Year before the movie comes out, because I did like this author's writing and storytelling. I think my favorite book in this video is still The Bodyguard, the first book I read. Then Before I Let Go. 3rd place is Thank You for Listening. 4th place is Vacation Land, which I've hardly talked about that book, but I probably wouldn't even recommend that. 5th place is the book I DNF'd, Miss Aldridge Regrets. But soft DNF, because it was just the wrong time, the wrong season to read that. My final thoughts on this video are that I'm going back to mood reading. I'm honestly shocked that I didn't find anything I loved, because I loved The Change by Kirsten Miller, which is the first book that I ever saw Emily Henry recommend. So I really thought I would have found something in here, but I have to be honest, I didn't branch out. I think I read all romance, so that's kind of my fault. I should have branched out, because The Change is probably a book I would have never picked up, but I did because I saw Emily Henry recommend it, and that's why I loved it. If I were to do this again, I would choose different books. I'd probably read This Time Tomorrow by Emma Straub. It says, thick with nostalgia and atmosphere, this grounded time travel novel will not only make you fall in love with New York, it will have you calling the people you love. That sounds like it'd be really good. And The Vibrant Years. I have this one downloaded on my Kindle because I thought I was going to get to it. It's on Kindle Unlimited right now. A gorgeous and big-hearted, multi-generational story about 3 women discovering themselves and one another as they figure out what it means to live on their own terms. That one and This Time Tomorrow seem more impactful, and I don't always want something super deep, but after reading 4 books that I didn't connect to at all, I think I need something deep. Not saying those ones weren't deep, because they all had their moments. Oh, Before I Let Go was actually really deep, now that I'm thinking about it. How many times did I just say deep? Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, you know what to do. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below. I post bookish videos every week, and I hope I will see you guys next time. Bye.